I think he made a deal with the devil or some kind of entity where he can't die. So for fun, he just makes these movies where he just keeps constantly doing crazier shit.
Tom Cruise is insulated literally from everything.
Yeah.
Because of his just like stature and religion.
Yeah.
That's what he does with that extra time. He doesn't have social media. He doesn't do that. He goes to the movies, develops his own projects, and just learns how to do the shit. Like I want to do a helicopter chase. I'll get my license in 12 days and then I'll do 100 hours in a helicopter so we can film this thing next year. Like that's what he does because he's unencumbered by anything else in this world.
Yeah.
What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? And thank you for tuning in to the longest running pop culture comic book podcast in the world. That's a fact. Cult Pop Podcast Live, episode 123. The 123 may seem like aren't the longest running, but that's like 123 of 900 and something.
Yeah, we've had
1,002.
At least 900 something episodes.
Classic.
Anyway,
hi. If you're new here, this is a place where we talk about comics and movie and TV, the practicality of digitally adding or removing a mustache in post-production. That's right. It's pronounced mustache. And all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itch.
Tonight we're broadcasting to you from Young Junk HQ, a bomb-ass podcast studio in Philadelphia, PA.
Now I got nothing else.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all.
Yep.
Good show. We did it.
My name is Noel. Tonight, we will be guiding you through a very possible but undeniably nerdy mission. Joining me tonight is co-host of the other greatest podcast on the planet, Inside the Morgue.
That's me. Well, I'm not Inside the Morgue. My name is Alice, and I co-host Inside the Morgue.
Inside the Morgue, the podcast name is Alice.
Yeah.
Also with us tonight is the incomparable, undeniable Dylan. But then also to my left is JD.
Oh, hey, hi. Of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. It's a rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass folks out there who like rad-ass things. So come buy them from me.
Obviously, last but not least, Dylan, over there in the booth. Hello. If anyone's watching this, because at least one person is.
Hi, Robert.
And they want to know how to work with you and do something at Young Chunk HQ, the space, the services. How do they inquire?
The foot massage.
Ooh.
all
the
your
services.
foot massage needs. Go to JD's Hero Complex, located at the Main Street. And but if you want a podcast,
knock on the door constantly.
Yeah,
open. Don't go in. Don't go in.
Yeah,
demand it. But if you want a podcast, then you can email me, Dylan@youngchunk.com. Foot massages, go to JD.
Yeah.
All right. Glad we cleared that up.
Tonight, we are falling deeper into the Mission Impossible rabbit hole with the 6th installment of our ongoing series, Missions Probable, as well as sharing our thoughts on the new genre masterpiece by Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan.
I feel like you may have given it away. Your thoughts that you just called it a genre masterpiece.
I mean, anybody that's even heard of the movie knows
bad
that
movies are
it's been very
masterpieces.
well received.
I think bad movies are
Yeah, that's an
masterpieces.
incredibly objective.
You mean subjective?
No, it's objective. It's objectively a masterpiece, but I feel subjectively about it.
You know what I think is a masterpiece? Thanksgiving. You don't agree. Thanksgiving 3 specifically. That's a masterpiece.
3 is a multimedia masterpiece. It's in execution, in understanding. Yes. Yeah. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we've been up to this week and maybe some listener emails, which we don't have any. But we will mention the comments when you jump in and out. But a gentle reminder, before we dig in, yes, if you're live here, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you're watching later, hey, how's it going from the past?
Whoa.
Do that also.
Are we still, is the world still here? Let us know.
It depends on when. It might, Thursday, probably. Saturday, crapshoot. But we like a good back and forth regardless, whatever your preferred platform. So pipe in the chat, send us emails, cultpopgo@gmail.com.
We got a comment. Robert Monroe Jr. says, I saw Sinners last night. Again on Monday with my daughter, and I might see it Saturday in IMAX.
Good stuff, man.
Holy cats.
Yeah, we're gonna like it. And you know what, too? We talked before we recorded about
on social media.
No, don't downplay it. You were targeted.
Oh, I was very targeted.
By targeted ads.
You were targeted.
I got targeted ads. to buy a perfume. I don't buy nice perfume for myself.
Scents?
So yeah,
I
I decided
guess.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to this nice perfume.
Well, hold up. You don't buy perfumes for yourself. Do people buy perfumes for you?
I have been gifted perfumes. Yes.
Okay.
By whom?
Like-
was it offensive?
No,
Like,
not offensive.
Why are you?
Yeah, do
Are
I
you
smell
saying
bad?
I stink?
No,
Yeah.
no. It was a nice like Christmas gift for like people who might not know what to get for me. They're like, here's a nice perfume, like a
Tell you
little.
this
Have
smell.
any of them sucked?
Yeah, do you ever get one and you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit,
Don't-
why have you
I'm
done
not
this
gonna
to
tell
me?
you who
Don't
got
get
it for
me
me, but
mad.
yes, there's some that I haven't enjoyed. There's some that I still have and I do like. And everybody who's gotten me perfume, you're gonna have to guess which it is.
It's Ghost Town.
But you didn't buy her
Ghost has
this
never
one.
gifted me perfume.
Yeah,
I
he's
did
smarter.
buy this one. It is from Heretic Perfumes. It's a Nosferatu perfume.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, that was a good one. The reviews are really what hooked me. The first review I saw of it said it smells like death, and I was like, I know what that smells like, and I bet you
It
that's
doesn't.
Not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's not. But then others were saying it's like walking through a graveyard after it rains and like the sun's just coming out, and I'm like, that's
That makes me want to buy it.
right.
Right? That smells good.
And so here, I'll take it out of its
I like
nice
the packaging immediately.
Yes.
For anybody that doesn't know,
Very sleek, all of their perfumes are like spooky themed. I bought a sample pack called Season of the Witch, and it's all like witchy scents.
obviously Nosferatu, Dave Eggers.
Yeah, this was like
genre masterpiece.
genre masterpiece.
It was in
Yeah.
conjunction
I
with
didn't
the film.
like it,
I
though.
think it came out, it was like originally manufactured before the movie because I saw people bought it before the movie
Already smell it.
and like sprayed it on themselves before
Yeah.
going to see it. Beautiful.
Did they really?
Yeah, that's what I saw. I don't know. Maybe they lied.
Honestly, this would have smelled better in the auditorium I was in instead of that guy's Chinese food.
His succulent Chinese meal.
Oof.
May I? I want to. I
Yeah,
want to stink it.
I actually think this is beautiful. It
It's-
smells really good.
What does it smell like?
Oh, before we start recording, I guessed it's got like some lilac and patchouli, but not overpowering of either one. And you said that's in the description, so I
Yeah,
totally
it's
get
like
points.
somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure it's patchouli. Maybe I was incorrect.
How do I?
But it does
Do
have
you-
like an earthy
how do you
smell.
do this?
Oh, just
away from the
wait,
mic. Yeah.
one on there, and then rub your
Rub your wrist
Rub
together.
your
I
wrists
do
together.
these.
Yeah.
and then you could
And I
Yeah,
go a
you do
little
it like
bit-
up there.
A little bit
Yeah.
of this, a little bit of this.
There you go. What does the world
That
of
was-
a vampire smell like?
$15.
I'm sorry. I'll pay.
Yeah.
I'll Venmo
You
you.
can Venmo her $15.
$15. No.
This is lovely.
Yeah, it's kind of unisex. The smell itself.
Yeah.
That's what- yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were reading.
Oh,
you were
sorry.
reading, yeah, let us
Sorry.
know,
The
let us-
description, it comes with a
Sushan.
beautiful, beautiful card or packet, like pamphlet. It says, Heretic Nosferatu presents a scent that is also an apparition. Sorry, I don't have my
Oh.
glasses on. That's why I'm like hesitating. This font is very small. Otherworldly, straddling a line between this world and the next. Patchouli, lilac, vegan ambergris, and
That was the other one.
oat.
Of course.
Oat.
I only-
vegan.
I was like,
oh yeah, by the way,
I was saying
they're
ambergris, but
they're
not vegan. I wasn't sure.
plant-based, which
Yeah.
I'm also all about.
It's vegan.
love-
What?
Ambergris.
Oh yeah, I only eat the meat version.
Meat
Meat
it comes
ambergris.
from a whale. I know.
I
that. I
only
learned
like
that from
the
Bob's Burgers.
amber-
I was
I
gonna
only
say
like
that. I knew you were gonna know
the
that. I
sourced
knew
That's
it.
the only
ambergris.
reason I know how to pronounce
Locally
it.
sourced.
That's a great
ethically
episode.
sourced
It's so good.
of the whales and the Schuylkill. Probably. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, it's not patchouli. I can't read. How do you say that word?
Petrichor?
Yeah, Petrichor?
Petrichor.
Yeah,
Petrichor.
it's not patchouli. I thought it was
Lilac.
patchouli.
Let's just say it's patchouli.
It's a little from that. You were right.
Vegan ambergris and oud form a beautifully pale and pellicid cord that will haunt you, but in the best possible way.
Do it in your Matt Berry voice.
Please don't.
Robert Eggers' Nosferatu is a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror
Yeah, that's it.
in its wake.
That's how we would do it.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
This is really cool packaging.
It's
Yeah,
such
I'm a
cool
sucker
packaging.
for
It
good
came in,
packaging.
so I ordered a few tester scents too, and it came in like an even bigger box. Then like I opened the beautiful box, and it was like wax sealed paper, like
Did it have-
black
did it have
wax.
like
A stamp, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, a stamp that says
Nice.
Heretic on it, and
Did
yeah,
it come with
has a
like
spooky little
a
description.
thread of his mustache?
Oh my god, yes, actually, it's in the bottle. But it kind of like, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you now, but it gives you like a whole story of like, I don't know, like each scent. And it's like, once the rain has subsided, we discover tangled behind the craggy crevices of the rock. Like you're walking through, like as each scent hits you, like, oh, you're smelling lilac as you walk through the cemetery.
Oh,
And like,
that's
oh, this is what
cute.
you're smelling. Like, so it obviously I
Nice.
was influenced. I love
Yeah.
anything vampire. I love Nosferatu. If you watched our Nosferatu episode,
Yeah.
so
I would not. I think you're downplaying it by saying you were targeted or whatever.
yeah,
because
it found
because
me.
this is like a well-made piece of merch
Yeah,
that actually has thought put into it and a
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
and like was sent with like
Not
cool
like a
tchotchkes.
Temu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like they print to like they tossed a label on a fucking Bath and Body Works thing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's pretty bespoke. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And they have other cool scents, and they're all like spooky or gothic themed.
So what are the
Heretic.
occasions for this scent?
I've literally worn it every day since I bought it. I just want
Wait.
people to think I smell like
Was
this.
it limited or
I think. Well,
because
I
do you
think
need to get like a backup bottle?
No, that's what I'm wondering. I was like, it has to be limited because it's a movie.
Right?
If it's
Like-
still
keep
available and
making
you
it.
like it, like
Yeah.
5 years from now, because if you go through Perfume,
I don't usually, especially where I work.
first
I
of all-
wore it to work one day, and then I had a really gross day at work, and I was like, "This is stupid of me to wear perfume today because now
Yeah,
I reek."
Nobody should
of
go through
actual
Perfume
death.
that fast. Like, one spritz, it
Mm.
lasts a while, but 3 or 4 years from now, you're gonna be like, fuck, and just like rationing it.
Yeah,
Invest in your
pulling the
future.
bottle out. Like,
Invest in your future for Christmas.
It's like soap, though. You just add water.
Yeah.
exactly.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Yeah, let's distill it. Let's just stretch it out.
Yeah.
I did that in 8th grade
Is that
until like
Nosferatu and Dial?
yeah.
What is that? Sorry.
I did
Anyway.
that in 8th grade with my toxic Britney Spears perfume. Like I loved that perfume so much. Or
Do they
maybe it was
still make it?
Fantasy. It was Fantasy by Britney Spears.
Do
I
they
think.
still make it?
I don't think they do.
Yeah. See?
See?
But I went through.
Don't you wish you had
I
it now?
had it until probably
It's not
like
like that
10th or 11th
It's
grade.
not that shit goes bad.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
does
Does it?
perfume
I
go
don't know. I
bad?
have no
I don't
idea.
know.
Does Eau de Parfait go bad or Toilette?
There was a warning. This is
Yeah.
flammable, though. Be
Hey, no.
careful.
Only the good shit.
Don't light a cigarette near me.
Oh yeah, look it up for me.
He's Googling it. Hey, no.
Does perfume
Yes,
perfume can
perfume does
expire.
expire and go bad.
exposure to air, temperature changes, and sunlight can cause the fragrance to degrade and change over time, while an unopened bottle might last for several years. See, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was definitely been opened.
Yeah, you got like 5 to 10 years on it, right? I very, very quickly, what's popping for me, I would like to talk about the second season of Andor premiered last night.
Mm.
Last night? No,
Mm.
Tuesday night.
I just got internet today, so
Woo!
And longtime listeners know that I think it's probably top 3 Star Wars period.
Mhm.
Like it's up there. And previously, the first season, which was 12 episodes, they structured the show in kind of like the whole show took over the course of a year. And then every 3 episodes was like its own mini arc.
Yeah.
Like he was in prison for 3 episodes, the heist for 3 episodes, So this time it's 12 episodes, and every week they're releasing 3, which is a full arc.
Oh.
And every arc has a year jump in between.
so it's only a 3-week show.
4 weeks, 3 episodes per show. You don't have to watch them all when they drop, but
yeah.
like it's 12 episodes, but 3 will
Yeah.
be released each week.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha. I was thinking
And
9.
it leads up to the very beginning of Rogue One.
Nice.
Oh,
Because
I love that. I
because
need to watch
the
it.
first season of the show was 5 years BBY
Mhm.
before the Battle of Yavin, which is the
BB.
before the Battle of Babin. Yee. But the first episode shows up. It just says BBY 4,
yeah.
and then the 4th episode will be BBY 3, and then it'll lead right up to
That's cool.
yeah. But the way it's these first 3 episodes are just like someone's stuck somewhere. This is happening concurrently. How do we get out of it? 3 episodes, and then it'll just be a year later, and we're in this other situation as
Mhm.
it builds, which is so cool. This is how TV should be done, where you can play with the format, you can mess around with release schedules, you can lean your story into the things that you have available, as opposed to like
Shoehorn.
40 minutes,
Mhm.
slap the ending here, and we'll do this there.
Yep,
Like really
yep.
play with the format, and I'm very excited to finish it. All the early reviews, and everyone's got a chance to watch the whole thing,
Mhm.
have basically all been saying that it's the best
Nice.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I heard. I
Of all
listened
the
to
wars.
the
and the
film
stars.
cast.
It's the best star.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to the filmcast today, and they were talking about how it's the best piece of television ever.
Yeah. I'm very.
They've watched the whole. They've seen the whole thing already.
I am going to be out of the country for the finale,
Ah.
so I'm wondering
Well, the internet is everywhere.
Yeah, but do I want to watch it on my laptop in the middle of a hotel
Maybe.
somewhere? Yeah, you're right. Maybe.
You probably do.
Probably do.
Yeah. Glad I can answer that for you.
But anyway, JD,
Hey, hi.
what have we been up to?
Well, I'll tell you what we were up to. 2 of the 3 of us went and gone and saw The Sinners.
Went and gone, saw Sinners.
Gone saw Sinners. Which is in theaters now, directed by Ryan Coogler. Oh, here we go. Written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Mosaku, Jamie Lawson, Delroy Lindo, Lee Jun Lee, Jack O'Connell, and introducing Miles Catan. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their Mississippi home to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. It has a 98% Rotten Tomatoes and a 97% audience score. What is the best audience? What's the best Rotten Tomatoes?
100.
Thanks, guys. Cool. You're both pieces of shit.
There are movies that have gotten hundreds.
I'm asking, do any movies? What are the movies?
Just keep talking. I'll
I
look it up.
realized
Yeah.
what question you were asking after I said
Hey guys,
100.
which percentage of 100% is the best percentage? Fucking. Anyway, we went and saw.
Ask a stupid question, get a straight answer.
Yeah, I guess. So Sushan and I went to go see this last night. We finally were
highest
able
number?
to get a babysitter. Thanks, Ray. And go to a theater to see a movie, and that in itself was wonderful. And it was such a hectic day that I kind of didn't even want to go.
Mm.
I was a grumpalumpicus. I was
Aw.
just so upset. It was just quite a day. And then, but we had plans and everything, and we should go because we had, the only time we could go. And boy, we both walked out of that theater. I think I said earlier, ebullient. We were just so excited. It was a cinematic experience that doesn't come along very often. And Sushan does not like horror movies. It's not like she's against them, but she does not care about them.
Mm.
And we were going into the theater. She's like, oh man, I really hope that this one's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope it does what I like, which is character work and making me care. Because the thing about horror movies for her is if she's not invested in any of the characters, then their fates mean nothing to her, which I can go either way. Sometimes it's fun to just watch Jason, get it done. Right.
That's why a lot of people don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
Like for us, we like both make me care and then rip my heart out. And other times it's like, make it cool. I don't care. They're all fodder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I could see not giving a shit about the latter.
Yeah.
So she left the theater. I rarely see her that excited and enthusiastic about like a horror movie.
I don't think we should talk about this movie yet.
That's why I'm being very broad.
Yeah. But to that point, I think that we should have maybe months from now when it's available digitally or on Blu-ray or something, we should have like a full-on exploration, have friends of the pod on that could like talk to some aspects of it differently. Because this is like 3 movies jammed into one and each of them are in chorus with each other. Yeah.
Well done.
It's just, this is better than, it's just a good movie. It's just a great movie. Oh, you want to know other movies that are 100?
Sure.
100% movies? Seven Samurai, Toy Story 1 and 2.
Damn. Both
Did
of
not see
them.
that coming.
They're great.
Singing in the Rain,
Haven't seen
12 Angry Men,
Nice.
M.
Okay.
The
Nice.
Kid,
All right. So good ones.
Wages of Fear, Grave of the Fireflies, Tampopo, Hard Day's Night. We can keep going. You want
No,
to
we're
just keep
done.
going?
We're done.
Tokyo
That's good.
Story,
That's good. Shut up.
Witness the Prosecution,
What was I going to say?
Annie and Alexander.
Oh, I had a similar response to Sinners that I did with another genre film, which was Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
I
So,
love Godzilla -1.
in both movies, sort of, you have a hint of what's coming, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning of the film, they give you a hint, and then they whip. They pull it back, and they just tell a tale about characters and life, and relationships, and just the difficulties of being, right? And I was so enraptured by just the first hour of this movie, because it does take a bit to get clicking, right? Before you figure out what this movie is going to be.
They spend about an hour and a half of just
It
like,
was an hour and a half.
oh yeah, it's 2 hours and 17 minutes. And I looked at my watch. It was like, I saw a 7 o'clock show. It started at 7:21.
Yeah.
It was about 8:50 when shit really started popping off. It's
Okay.
about an hour and a half a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a similar response to Sinners as I did Godzilla -1, which is, oh, right, there's blank coming. Because I kind of, from the trailers, I already kind of figured out what's happening in this movie. I don't want to spoil it. But like in Godzilla, I'm watching the movie and I'm so enraptured by it that I actually like to pull myself out of it to go, oh shit, Godzilla's coming at some point too. I guess that's cool. Like, I don't really need Godzilla to show up. Like, we could just keep doing the thing we're doing. And I had a very similar response to this one where I had to go, oh, and then stuff's going to happen. Like, I'm fine just watching these characters enjoy their evening. The evening that they have planned and worked so hard for. I just want them to have that and then leave the theater happy that they all had a pleasant experience. Like,
Is there how did the audience react? Did you have a big did you have a full auditorium?
I wouldn't say it was full.
Oh.
Sub answer. I couldn't go to the theater you were going to because yours was full.
Yeah, it sold out.
I bought tickets too late. I went on
Tuesday at 7 sold out.
I was like,
weird.
oh, it'll be fine. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm in D blank, the two tickets. And I was like, oh, get the ones next to them. All gone.
Yeah.
So then we had to go to pick a different time and go to a different theater.
Yeah,
So,
there was only two instances of phone use. I think one was because everyone cares. One, some lady pulled out her flashlight on her cell phone to look at her hand.
Oh, is it still there? Cool.
Well, she did it like 3 times, and I couldn't tell because she was like the row in front of us. I couldn't tell what she was looking for in her hand.
Green M&M.
So I was really hoping that it was just bleeding and falling off because she wouldn't turn the fucking thing off. But other than that, no, everyone was in the movie. So like I don't need people to be silent. But if you're going to like make noise,
be present.
do it in concert with the movie, be present with the movie, like gasp, ooh, oh my God. No, they didn't. That's fine. It's the
nonsense.
I'm too cool for this shit.
Yeah.
Main character shit in between that I can't.
Just laugh reacting.
I can't stand. Yeah, like just lolzing and like, oh, can you believe that shit?
Yeah, I hate it. It's so funny. I had this bit of a tangent, but so I'm sitting here. There's a gentleman to my right, and the whole movie he's got his phone out, and I'm just like, every so often it grabs my attention. And I'm like, phone, man, just put your phone away, please. And then I realize I finally actually like kind of glance over. He didn't have his phone out. It's the bright blue because it's those seats that.
Oh my God.
And it's got a bright blue oval around it, so you know where to press to.
The theater you went to, Plymouth Meeting. Yeah. I've had trouble in that theater before. When there's some auditoriums that have the hallway in between, so like it's the main seating area and then a row in between and then like
you
a
put
railing.
Your feet up on the railing. Yeah.
If you're on the railing, their aisle lights are too bright.
Yeah.
Which fucks with like the screen. So you have to like find a space that's either up or past the aisle lights.
Yeah.
Same thing with some of the And then if you're like, so, they have the food theaters, the food service
movie
theaters.
tavern.
Yeah, like movie tavern. I made the mistake of seeing a 3D movie there once.
Oh God.
For 3D to work, the brightest thing in the room has to be behind the screen so your eyes can actually process the 3D image.
Yeah.
They have to have their aisle lights up higher so the fucking servers don't like walk into a wall or spill everything.
Yeah.
So the whole time, like the 3D's not working. The light over here is like interrupting with it. And you're just like, what the fuck is the point of this? Yeah.
One of the funniest stories about an experience at a movie tavern.
Hot wings.
No, Jess, this happened to Jess and her sister. She told me they went to movie tavern to go see A Quiet Place. So then like every crunch they took was just so loud.
Yeah.
I just felt like they were interrupting everything.
I get anxiety if I'm trying to eat food and it's like all of a sudden everybody's like quiet and someone's dying or something. And I'm like,
yeah, they just told me that like in a passing sentence. I was like, that's actually hilarious.
How do you feel about those places? The full service.
I had a great time when I think Jess and I went together. It was the first time I'd been at a place like that. What did we go see?
I think it's a cool novelty.
If I'm seeing Final Destination, wonderful.
Yeah, we went to go see something. Oh no, we went to see Barbie. We saw Barbie at the movie tavern. It was fun. Good. Yeah, we got cocktails. It was great.
I think we went to go see 50-50.
Oh, cancer.
Movie about dying of cancer.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was not great.
So like the hot wings next to you and the guy trying to eat pizza in the dark.
And also the mother lover came out to do our check and like very emotional thing is happening up there, and I'm all like,
Excuse me.
and they're like, "I'll take your check when you're ready."
Yeah,
I'm like,
that part's weird too.
Get out of here. Yeah, come out like during the credits, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, that shit's kind of weird.
Anywho.
Like it. Yeah.
So Sinners was real good.
Super good. We want to talk about it in depth, but I can't encourage
I
you
don't wanna
guys
spoil
enough.
it.
Just go.
Go 3
Just
times
go.
like Robert Monroe. Robert, this is one of those ones where Sushan and I were talking, and I was like, I really want to go see this in a bigger theater even. I would like to go see it in IMAX.
Yeah, me too. I'm hoping, since it's doing incredibly well,
Yeah.
I'm hoping they tour the 70 millimeter again, not unlike how they did with Oppenheimer and stuff. So I could see it in 70 mil because I totally would. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what's happened for us this week.
Yeah. So that's great. Now, your mission, should
Right.
you choose to accept it,
First, right?
to watch every Mission
There's-
Impossible film in preparation for the 8th and final installment of a decades-long franchise. A mission that's admittedly very possible. Probable even. Welcome to our 6th installment of Missions Probable, a cult pop event series
of epic proportions for all boys, girls, NBs, and children of our Lord and Savior.
Simon Peck.
Simon Peck.
Tonight we explore the fallout of Ethan Hunt's good intentions.
Whoa.
Oh, Mission Impossible Fallout. Directed and written by Christopher McQuarrie. And that's it.
And who did the last one?
Christopher McQuarrie.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Synopsis. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team join forces with CIA assassin August Walker, real name, to prevent a disaster of epic proportions. Arms dealer John Lark and a group of terrorists known as the Apostles plan to use 3 plutonium cores to simultaneously nuclear attack on the Vatican, Jerusalem, and Mecca, Saudi Arabia. When the weapons go missing, Ethan and his crew find themselves in a desperate race against time to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Returning cast members: Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt,
I've heard of him.
Simon Pegg as Benji Dunn, Ving Rhames as Luther Stickle, Rebecca Ferguson as Isla Faust, Sean Harris as
Ilsa.
Solomon Lane.
Mhm.
I said Ilsa.
You said
Isla.
Isla.
Yeah, I'll never say it right.
Yeah.
It's spelled Isla here, so
Oh, my
at least
bad.
I'm reading correctly.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
If I'm wrong, I was wrong a while ago, not right now.
Go take it up with the
we
other
can't
one.
Yeah.
blame now.
Yeah,
no, we'll
I can blame
past
Noel,
Noel.
and he's learned since then.
Yeah, it's like
He's-
Clearly.
He's
It's-
gone through a whole.
it's like the prompter. You just put it up
Metamorphosis.
there. I'll read it.
Yeah.
I'm reading correctly.
I'm Ron
I
Burgundy.
was wrong when I wrote it. Yeah. Whale's vagina.
the Human Torch was
Santiago.
denied a bank loan.
Sean Harris as Solomon Lane, the first returning villain of this franchise.
Wolf Blitzer.
Wolf Blitzer is in New Recruits.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he was the villain. Sorry.
Alec Baldwin as IMF director Alan Hunley. And New Recruits, Henry Cavill as Austin Walker.
Oh, yeah.
August Walker, sorry. Vanessa Kirby as the White Widow. Angela Bassett as CIA director Erica Sloan.
That was a nice surprise.
And
Mhm.
surprise return, Michelle Monaghan as Julia.
yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see
It
her
was
again.
nice to see her again.
First time in 10 years.
I thought they were just going to keep showing him pictures of her. And I'd
Yeah.
be like, stop doing this.
So,
Stop
I mean,
threatening him
I
with
don't-
pictures.
I don't
Right.
know things. So my question is, when Michelle Monaghan is in photographs but is not in the film, does she still get money?
Yeah.
Because
There's
they're using her
likeness-
likeness.
Yeah, there's
rights,
like
right?
likeness rights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, depending on the contract that they negotiated,
Mhm.
they'll also get credit, even though they're never in the movie, just
Yeah.
their likeness or picture or
Gotcha.
old footages.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I had to have someone sculpt me a Michelle Monaghan action figure because her likeness rights weren't available. You guys,
Is that for the pops also, or just action
yeah,
figure?
My Julia,
Yeah.
my Julia action figure.
My Julia. Anyway, before we get into pre-production, I would just like to read a quote from the movie.
Oh, okay.
How many times has Hunt's government betrayed him, disavowed him, cast him aside? And how long before a man like that has had enough?
At least 6 times.
Well, 5. This is the 6th.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
5.
true.
Yeah.
They were in like the middle of so
So-
5.5 at this point, I
Yeah,
A
think.
couple of installments ago, you did mention like, the fuck, this guy's always being blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's literally a line of
Framed?
dialogue later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
because I think when they're making these movies too, they're realizing like, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
So pre-production on Fallout began before the release of Rogue Nation, in so much as Tom Cruise announcing that's number 5.
Thank you.
As so much as Tom Cruise announcing that filming is being planned for August 2016. Remember that, August
Okay.
2016. The studios wanted a
a
quicker
good time.
turnaround other than the other installments because if you notice, these movies usually have like a 5 to 6 year
Mm.
gap between them.
Yeah.
So in November 2015, McQuarrie announced that he would return as both writer and director, which is the first time in the Mission Impossible series the director has done that for a sequel. And he was initially reluctant to return because he found the filming of Rogue Nation to be difficult. Partly because the complicated stunt sequences and the expectations to exceed those in a sequel just seemed like it was insurmountable. But Tom Cruise is a bully.
I was getting ready to say, I bet the conversation was like, okay, so you're doing the next one? Cool.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is basically a bully. He's just like, oh, that's fine. You'll do it anyway. It's okay.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, I'll put your name down
He's
till we
like
find somebody else. It's
a
okay.
pleasant bully. Like you don't realize you're being bullied, and then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
I imagine him
Wait a
to be
minute.
like the most amazing hype man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm.
hey, Tom, I can't walk on water. Yes, you can.
Like, what are you
If
talking
we
about?
practice this, you got
Yeah,
this.
you got it.
Yeah.
If we just remove the thetans from your soul, we can just get anyway. So
He's going to come for you now.
McQuarrie wrote the screenplay, but collaborated with Cruise on developing the narrative, particularly the subplot involving Ethan's wife, Julia. Fans for years had been asking Cruise about Julia's fate after revealing the ambiguous resolution in Ghost Protocol, where she just kind of walks in the distance.
Mhm.
They entered the story with Ethan and Julia's fate being the main emotional arc. In previous films, save for 3, Ethan is more of an enigmatic kind of like force of nature. You don't really know what he's thinking. So McQuarrie really wanted to push against that and dive deeper into his feelings, hence the title, Fallout.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily supposed to be about the nuclear explosions, but like the fallout of all the shit that he's done.
Mhm.
Solomon Lane, quote, there cannot be peace without first a great suffering. The greater the suffering, the greater the peace.
Mhm.
The end you've always feared is coming. It's coming, and the blood will be on your hands. The fallout of all your good intentions. He said the name. That's one of the moments where he's like, "Who's on the title?" The opening, abandoned ideas for Rogue Nation were incorporated into this.
Oh,
So namely the motorcycle Paris heist with Lane. All of that
I
was
loved that.
initially, because like there was supposed to be a part in 5 where they have to break Lane out and use him, but it just didn't fit, so they just pushed
I
it to this one.
loved that whole
The
bit.
shot inside the truck of him having to like hold his breath.
Oh, and the
as-
water tilting. Oh my
good.
god. And he like
Absolutely great.
hyperventilates before. Oh my god.
And the cold open, the mousetrap sequence with Wolf Blitzer.
yeah.
That was supposed to be a trick in Rogue Nation that they kind of pulled, and it became the cold open of this one.
Do you think that it was effective here? That cold open of
When I
the
saw
thing
it-
we've seen several times.
When I saw it in person.
You were there?
Yeah, when they were filming it.
Yeah, when you were filming it, you were next to Wolf Blitzer.
So when I went and saw it in the theaters, I saw it alone on my own because no one else cares.
About the movie, not you.
I had read that the movie like takes it up a notch and it's crazy, and when they reveal in the first 15 minutes that they did set off a nuclear explosion in
3 places.
no, they did that.
Yeah.
And the movie's called Fallout. I was like, are they
Ooh.
actually going to pull? Is this what the movie's going to be like?
Yeah.
Actually having to like when they fail,
Mhm.
and then they did the whole thing, and I was like, that's pretty slick.
Oh, see,
It wasn't like a shock, but it totally was like I could see this going both ways.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
hindsight's 2020, obviously not.
Yeah.
But I was a bit of a mark. I was like, let's go. Yeah,
see,
do it.
Yeah.
I was a little
Do it.
disappointed because I feel like they've already done this a couple of times in the series so far.
The first movie definitely. Like
Right,
the first
that's how-
movie is the only one that has a whole set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
They don't
as-
touch it since then.
So as soon as we, I feel like I don't know if his acting's bad on purpose in that scene, Tom Cruise,
yeah.
When he's
or
like,
he's
"Nah."
like, I'm playing bad cop, right? I
Yeah.
feel like he's hamming it up a little bit as bad cop, like let me at him.
Yeah.
And then they do the whole switch of like Benji as Wolf Blitzer,
we got him.
like all of that stuff. I didn't buy for a second,
Oh,
so I was just kind of like, oh, we're just doing this again. It feels like
are you also cynical and you hated it? You didn't-
No,
you didn't
I
buy
thought it was I thought it
I-
was I didn't know if it actually happened or not. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my god, did they actually do it?
Yeah,
Is this a setup? I thought it was effective
Yeah, the
for me at
movies
least.
have a escalation quality that I, not having seen any trailers for the next ones or like in the moment, I was like, are they doing this?
right.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Pink Apocalypse, JD, for the 20th time, I'm always listening to the start of each episode as I get off work,
But can't
can't chat until I arrive home. Hey,
Welcome.
appreciate it. How you
Hi,
doing?
Pink.
How do you feel about Nosferatu Pew? Ode Nosferatu.
Yeah, can you smell it through the screen?
The opening sequence of losing
Drop it
the
on the mic.
plutonium, though, like the beginning. First of all, 20-minute cold open.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that opening sequence of them losing the plutonium, it was initially meant to kill off Brandt, the Jeremy Renner character.
Yeah, I noticed the lack of Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I totally didn't even notice
You
he wasn't
didn't
here.
notice the lack of Jeremy Renner?
So
Sorry,
it was
Jeremy Renner.
It was a confluence of things. Like McQuarrie wanted to create a scenario where somebody that we know dies to kind of up the stakes.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely against Stickle or Benji because he was like, if I lose those characters, I don't have a story for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
But I can potentially lose a Hunley, but it wouldn't make sense for him to be there. But I can lose it. So he was like, well, Brandt. But then Renner was like, well, not only did I not love filming the last two movies because it's an overly long production because you have no script and I'm away from my family for even longer.
Yep.
You're going to bring me in just to maybe kill me because you're not sure. But then also at the same time, I'm filming 2 Avengers movies
Yeah.
back to back.
I'm good.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good luck.
So, Rebecca, I was listening to an interview with Rebecca Ferguson yesterday or today, I forget, but she was saying the exact same thing about returning for these movies and how the exact same thing. It is a bunch of hurry up and wait.
Mhm.
You know, you go in with no script. Now it's amazing because you're fit as a fiddle, like you're the best shape of your life and you're an expert at what you do. But it's a lot of just waiting around and they'll get to your scenes eventually, maybe, hopefully. And you can't really work because you need to be there at a drop of a dime or a hat, drop a dime and a hat. I don't know.
Both
and
of
then she was like, yeah, in between, I think the movie that she could have been, I guess she's not in a recent one. Is that what it is? She's like,
Don't worry about it.
I filmed 2 seasons of Silo in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about who's in what for the next 2 movies.
But she's one of my favorite parts of these movies. So it bummed me out. Yeah, I love her addition to this franchise.
Anyway.
Go on.
So he declined to return. Also, McQuarrie imposed while writing a rule that female characters cannot be helpless, which initially gave him problems, making him apprehensive to put female characters in danger.
Yeah.
So like,
has he ever met a woman?
He imposed a rule on himself and then had to figure out how to not rely on impulses of making.
I respect that. Yeah.
But then he created other rules for himself. So like the sequence where Lane captures Ilsa. Ilsa? Good. Okay. Making sure I'm not doing it wrong again. Where he captures Faust. But he's like, but she saved herself, so I could do that. As opposed to just constantly keeping a character as like a fridged character.
Sure, yeah.
So I thought that was
as long
cool.
as they are
get them out.
Yeah,
get
as long as they
themselves
do
out.
it. Yeah. Like they can be in danger.
Yeah.
So this is where
I mean, I'd rather not be, but
this is where things start to go off the rails. According to the Hollywood Reporter, unspecified script issues risked delaying the film. Initial hopes were that production would start in July 2016, which was delayed to November 2016 because of script stuff.
You told us to remember August.
Right. Yeah.
Which is between those.
August 2015 was when they were like, we're doing another movie. We're going to film it summer of 2016.
Okay.
Summer of 2016 comes. Script's not ready. They're like, we only need a couple more months. November 2016.
Okay.
That passes. We only need a couple more months. January 2017, beginning of pre-production in earnest. We'll be ready. Nope.
No.
The final script was only 33 pages long.
Wow.
McQuarrie felt that this worked for Mission Impossible films. A broad outline for locations, sets, and actors is provided, but scenes are adjusted, added, removed based on how events unfold during the movie. He was primarily focused on finding interesting locations to create a great-looking spy movie.
Yeah. I mean, it did look fantastic. Yeah.
So it's just broad strokes, the movie, and they just figure it out, which is probably what Rebecca Ferguson's also talking about, the fact that there is no plan, just like broad strokes, and maybe we'll use your character in here. I'll get into it in post-production too, because
we've got a concept of a plan.
There's stuff, 12%.
Yeah.
Honestly though, 33 pages, if we're doing like the 1 minute per page ratio, this is a 2 hour and 26 minute movie. It's about 20%.
Yeah. Crazy.
But principal photography started in earnest April 8th, 2017. 6 months after they thought that they were going to start. And it ended a long time after that. They filmed in Paris, New Zealand, Queenstown, London, and Norway. They shot it on 35mm film, as well as digitally in Panavision Millennium XL and DXL cameras, particularly for the aircraft scenes.
Mhm.
The only reason why they did digital for the aircraft scenes were for two reasons. That's the IMAX aspect ratio scenes. So those are easier to convert afterwards. And for speed. They thought it would be a waste of fucking time to constantly have to land the aircrafts to reload film stock.
Yeah.
So with a digital camera, they were able to just like keep going.
Oh, sure, yeah.
In July 2017, during filming, Henry Cavill's mustache became a source of conflict.
Yeah, it did.
When he needed to reprise his role of Superman for reshoots of Justice League.
Yep.
And had to be clean shaven. McQuarrie,
I love this.
unwilling to let Cavill shave unless compensated, he requested from Warner Brothers $3 million from the Justice League production to cover the costs of digitally re-adding Cavill's facial hair to Fallout until it regrew. Paramount eventually intervened and said, nope. They refused permission altogether, necessitating the mustache to be digitally removed in Justice League instead.
And it's so bad.
Which ended up being irrelevant because less than a month later, Tom Cruise broke his ankle colliding with a wall during a stunt jump between buildings. He completed the stunt and moved off camera before acknowledging the injury, and the footage was used, but production was shut down for an additional 2 to 3 months. So Cavill could have shaved his fucking face,
Amazing.
go filmed reshoots, and regrew his mustache because they had to shut down filming for 3 months while Tom Cruise healed.
Can
This literally happened weeks later. I think
amazing.
Terrible movie.
Can I tell you, I remember you guys mentioning the drama about the mustache, but I thought it was the reverse where he didn't have a mustache and they like edited it in. So I spend most of this movie trying to figure out.
Oh man, that would a good mustache.
Because I remember you guys said it was bad and I was like, what am I missing? I was like,
mustache
this
is
looks
immaculate.
fantastic.
His mustache is so good.
Yeah.
They couldn't recreate that with like a merkin stash or a tube, a
Right.
face tube.
Yeah.
They could have
Yeah.
because it was just stubble and a
Yeah.
good tube. Or
Yeah.
a foop, a face toupee.
Can you imagine what it
Okay.
must have felt like to be
Not a
Henry
fupa.
Cavill and having two productions fight over your facial hair?
I think you would probably find it incredibly hilarious.
That's so
like,
funny.
am I shaving? Am I not? Am I
Yeah.
shaving?
$3 million
Yeah.
for his mustache.
I want to see. I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. Can somebody find it for me? And blah blah blah. Henry Cavill filming Superman scenes with a full stash. If that's available somewhere,
Find it.
Yeah.
give it to me.
Yeah, Pink is in the chat saying it was so bad. The CGI erasure. Because in my head, I'm like,
I forget that. I have to
how bad
rewatch.
can that be?
It's bad.
Turns out really bad.
It's really bad. That's not real. That picture's not real. Huh?
That one might be.
That could be.
That's unsettling. I don't
look
like
at
that.
look at the go down one. Where
Is
it's,
this- is
where
this
it's
on
two
screen?
pictures. Nope.
No, the one
To the
Far
to
left.
the left.
Far left.
The comparison of him filming both times in
Look
both.
at that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
just
It's like a whole different dude.
Yeah.
the different chin.
Anyway,
It's a
hi.
whole different
One looks
jaw.
great. One's not. So,
yeah.
the scene where he broke his ankle. He's
Yeah.
running on rooftops, jumps, gets to the other side, but decides
Smacks?
to
Decides to.
his toes hit the side of the wall, and then the rest of the leg like takes it, and it his toes basically touch his shin.
Yeah.
Right. He carries on with the scene and like limps off, like exasperatedly.
Which is a thing
limps
that I
off.
like.
What
like
scene was this?
It's when
He's
he's
running on the rooftops, getting notations from Benji, like jump.
And is that
turn
when he
left.
like almost falls and catches himself? Or-
Yes.
okay. Oh my
Yeah, so he
god.
jumps, and then that like it's still in the movie where he's like gets up off the top of the ledge and like
and limps
limps off.
Keeps going.
His ankle is snapped in two at that moment, and he's so movie brain. He knows to fake it for an extra 2 seconds to get off screen so
Yeah.
they could save the footage.
Yeah.
That's how fucking intense.
But
this guy is.
I feel bad that happened to him, but it's stuff like that that bring a realism to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that the character, like he survives things that no human should ever survive. But it's little things like that.
Like
of,
Tom Cruise does everything.
kind of.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like him, the character missing a jump and then limping and having to like,
Yeah.
walk it off, run it off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It brings a realism to a movie that some movies just don't have,
That sequence too is just so wonderful.
That's a
Like,
good sequence.
The
this whole
idea,
movie was great.
the stuff that you loved about Rogue Nation, where
Yes.
it became a little bit more of a team and they're like
Yeah.
riffing off of each other.
Loved it.
That sequence itself is just great, where he's he's giving him directions and he's like out of a building. Oh, I was looking at it 2D.
Yeah.
And he just like flips the
And
screen.
he's like, oh, sorry, had it on.
Oh,
Had it on auto
right,
lock.
yeah.
Whoops.
It's just
Are you sure it's
escalation.
my right?
Yeah.
Just-
oh, no, left, sorry. I had it on
the
auto lock.
constant escalation is just like these movies, these people are with each other for a long period of time. It's really
Why?
wonderful.
What are you doing? I'm jumping out of a window. Why are you jumping out of a window?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
My bad. I was talking to Costa about it because Costa didn't get to sit down and watch this with me. He hasn't gotten to watch a few of them with me, but I'm going to rewatch them with him because I said after I finished the movie, I was like, I think I'm genuinely like obsessed with Mission Impossible
Right?
now. And
Boink.
I wish Tom Cruise wasn't as controversial as he was in real life because
know.
he seems like like the fact that he does all of this on his own is like part of the reason, most of the reason why I love this movie, because I'm like I can watch any action movie where stunt people do it for them or it's CGI, but I'm like, no, he taught himself how to fly a helicopter. He broke his ankle
I had this in
jumping
here,
off of the building. Like that is insane. This man.
Yeah, it's not.
You know what's funny?
It's not healthy.
Someone
I said
brought
that I
up-
think he made a
healthy.
deal with the devil or some kind of entity where he can't die. So for fun, he just makes these movies where he
Yeah.
just keeps constantly doing crazier shit.
The thing, like people that are like normies, just inundated with white noise of the world.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do with that extra time? Tom Cruise is insulated literally from everything
Yeah.
because of his just like stature and religion.
Yeah.
That's what he does with that extra time. He doesn't have social media. He doesn't do that. He goes to the movies, develops his own projects, and just learns how to do the shit. And like, I want to do a helicopter chase. I'll get my license in 12 days and then I'll do 100 hours in a helicopter so we can film this thing next year. Like, that's what he does because he's unencumbered by anything else in this world.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
just,
worry.
Yeah. And that's what,
I would love
yeah,
to
like
do that.
worry.
Yeah.
Other than all the
take, too.
controversy.
Of all like the Scientologists in the world, is he just like the golden goose that they don't let anything else touch and
Right.
insulate?
Yes.
So
yes.
does he?
Oh, yes.
Is he just like stupid to them being awful, or is he
I
awful in the system? Like
I have
that's
no
why I'm just
idea.
like I'm not an excuse for him, but it's like you can't be that like in a bubble without everyone keeping you in that bubble.
Right.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. And then too, he's probably at that stature where no one around him that's maybe not in the bubble wants to bother talking about it. Like he's friends with Simon Pegg. Do you think Simon Pegg's just like, hey,
How's that Scientology going?
tell me about Scientology? He's
yeah,
just
tell
like,
me all about
no,
it.
I just want to hang out with
Yeah.
this guy who's cool.
Turn
I
on
don't want
his
to talk
steam
about
heaters.
this.
Yeah.
I want to
Crank 'em
get
a
the
little bit.
coconut cake for Christmas. I don't
Yeah.
need anything else.
I just want to go eat a cake for
Anyway.
Christmas.
So that 2-3 months while he was healing, McQuarrie used that time to improve the script.
To write a
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Secured new locations. So there were things that they were thinking of doing that they didn't have the locations set up for. And now it's like, hey, we got an extra 2 months. Let's see if we can get that church. Let's see if we can get that
Mhm.
location. And then they also started processing and editing the existing footage because they were still adamant about making that January, I think it was like July 27th date. So that's what they did. The limited script outline allowed for many scenes to be added and developed during that process or removed. The initial meeting between Ethan and Walker was reshot because Walker's role had evolved throughout the filming. A lot of things changed about Henry Cavill's character. Similarly, a planned confrontation between Ilsa and Alana, the White Widow character, was removed
Oh, I
because-
would have loved to have seen that.
because of the well-received chemistry between Cruise and Kirby during the Riverside dialogue scene. So like they filmed the Riverside dialogue scene, which was later in the film first, and they loved that so much they were like, we got to remove Ilsa and then put him in the introductory because these people need another scene. So like they took the opportunity to like refilm pieces
Interesting.
when processing the first half that they already filmed, which was
It's
pretty cool.
insane to me that anyone can keep track of this while they're making it.
That's
You know
why
what
it
I mean?
takes like 150 people. Like there's
Crazy.
somebody that supervises the script out of order. There's somebody that's editing in real time and saying, hey, we need an insert for this.
Yeah.
There's a scheduler
Continuity.
that takes, like all that shit.
Ugh.
There's also similarly a planned confrontation. Yeah, I got that already. The scene in which Ethan is gifted one of the cores by Alana in that other meeting, that was added days before they filmed. Yeah, that was filmed days before because McQuarrie struggled to explain how 2 cores remained in the finale.
Yeah.
So they had their whole finale, but they were like, we only have the plot mechanics for 2 bombs to be defused.
Yes.
So how do we
How do we get rid of this
compensate for the
third
third
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Free bomb.
we have 5 characters. One's going to be here. 2 have to be here. 2 have to be here. What do we do with, we'll just have her gift it to him. We'll film that later.
Yeah.
Like they were figuring this shit out on the fly, which I thought is just also insane. Cruise and his teammates became a lot of stuff was reworked. The opening scene was reworked. All of these things to create banter and whatnot, and then they officially concluded in February after that 2-month break. But before we get into that, let's talk about the stunts. So, this I thought was cool that I'd never heard before. An unnamed, well-known actor who's still unknown to this day was originally set to play the decoy of John Lark in the bathroom as a surprise cameo. But in the preliminary tests, he was unable to keep pace with Cruise and Cavill during the fight.
I bet.
So they just called an audible and replaced the actor with a stuntman, Liang Yang.
Gotcha.
So that guy was able to fight them.
Oh, I wonder who it was.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe like a Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, I'm not fast enough for these cats.
That's awesome.
I'm good. Also,
Oh my God, I love that.
yeah, are you going to think about it?
I'm going to think about it forever.
The Halo jump over Paris.
Mm-hmm.
That was planned for over a year
Mhm.
and filmed after principal photography. So they ended principal photography February 22nd, 2018, but they filmed a lot of the stunts afterwards. So all they really needed to do was get, the landing sequence and like them on the hangar and then figure out the rest later. They took a year in prep to film that. Cruise performed the single take jump 106 times.
Yeah.
Including practice jumps, falling at speeds of 200 to 220 miles per hour from 25 to 30,000 feet.
God.
They only had a limited time window of 3 minutes a day during sunset to film the jump.
Filming took,
That's 100 different days.
and they filmed it in the United Arab Emirates, which is the only place that allowed them to perform the stunt.
Oh my God.
Yeah. To prepare for each jump, Cruise inhaled pure oxygen for 20 minutes to avoid decompression sickness.
Oh, wow.
His helmet also provided oxygen that was designed to clearly show his face to enhance the realism. So normally it would kind of fog or it would be they developed oxygen or like a mixture of oxygen so they could see his face while they're filming.
They even kind of explain that because Henry Cavill's one fogs up and he's like, your oxygen's not on, and turns it on. Oh, that's fun.
They also built one of the world's largest wind tunnels just for practice.
Yeah.
Not to practice building a wind tunnel.
Well, I have they were going to potentially film the stunt in that, but it didn't look real enough for them, so they didn't want to bother. Yeah, so that was wild. And they did obviously add digital effects to the sequence. So like the clouds are digital effects, the lightning, all that stuff, but literally the single shot of the two people doing a halo jump,
tussling,
all real.
Insane.
The motorcycle segment, the motorbike segment, he is riding the Arc de Triomphe, but it was filmed during a 90-minute window on a Sunday morning when there was no traffic, and they added all the cars in digitally.
Wow.
But
that's pretty.
Wow.
What I thought was cool about that though is the sequence where he hits the car and tumbles off. That was practical.
What? I thought for sure that was CG.
They set up the bike on a hydraulic rig and wired him, and they just flipped him.
Jesus Christ.
And then added the car digitally, and
Oh.
then some of the flips kind of like, like they had to clean up around it. So when in the movie, it kind of looks like he wouldn't have survived that, but he actually does like flip
He
over
did,
and tumble
though.
into the camera, which I thought was cool as shit. The helicopter chase was filmed in Norway and New Zealand. Cruise insisted on filming the rope climb up the helicopter.
Yeah, twice.
And McQuarrie considered it uninteresting, but he was like, do it anyway. And then it ended up being in the movie.
I loved the shots of when we see Henry Cavill in the helicopter that's like closer to us.
He's just like,
And then you see in the background, you just see Tom Cruise like climbing up the other one.
Yep.
And he's just chilling.
He's just like enjoying his
chilling with
ride.
his detonator in his lap. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Ethan commandeers the craft. He earned his license in 12 days, spent 18 months training for the stunt. And variations of it were filmed with Ethan having the character either having little or no knowledge about flying the helicopter. And they did different versions of it to see what the edit would look like. Because previously we're like, does he know how to fly a helicopter? Whatever. Cavill was also in his own craft, hanging out of it for real. And the winds were like 32 degrees Fahrenheit, using an actual M249 machine gun.
Wow.
He received weapons training from McQuarrie's older brother, Doug, who I guess is a weapons expert.
I hope.
Yeah. Just Doug. His name was just Doug.
Yeah.
That
Doug,
sounds like, I
Doug
don't know,
Weapons.
every like kid growing up had like a friend who was like, no, my older brother knows how to do that. It's just like,
No, don't point that. But yeah, I got you. Yeah. The helicopter noise in that sequence was so bad that Cavill had no instructions, and he just kind of improvised and mimicked the whole helicopter sequence. He was like, shoot that way. And he just did variations of it for like a couple days.
Wow.
that's wild.
The
to
helicopter
me.
chase resulted in 70 hours of footage that was edited down to 7.5 minutes.
That was only
70?
7.5 minutes. That chase was very long.
So during post-production, McQuarrie considers the theatrical cut to be definitive.
Sure.
Anything that's out or deleted is justifiable reasons, so he doesn't believe in director's cuts. But some of the scenes that they shot that weren't included were scenes of Ilsa and Ethan kissing.
Oh, I want them to
Smooching.
kiss.
One scripted and one improvised, but McQuarrie felt that it weakened her character and removed future potential romantic tension. It also interfered with Ethan's unresolved relationship with Julia. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
A multi-page scripted scene explaining Ilsa's and Ethan's relationship was trimmed to one line. And the line is, "You should have come with me."
Yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
They had a multiple page scene of them seeing each other for the first time in Paris. And it was just like, we need to, blah, blah, blah. You should have come with me.
You should have
That's
come
it.
with me.
What? Great.
Right. The
I love that
economics
line.
is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Toys.
Shortly after filming concluded, a 170-minute cut was screened for about 70 cast and crew members and family. And new edits were made and screened every 2 weeks for the next like 6 weeks for American test audiences. They got it down to a slim 147 minutes, which earned the highest audience scores, becoming the theatrical cut. Now, the studio still wanted them to trim further because you'll hear like 2 hours or more, people get bored.
Yeah.
But every time that they trimmed more, scores got lower and lower.
Interesting.
So they went back to the 147, and just to get as much time as they could, permission was granted by all of the studios to allow them to double speed the studio logos at the beginning of the movie just to earn a minute.
Yeah.
Just to get a minute back. So like the Paramount logo happens really fast and the Skydance
that's
logo happens
funny.
really fast. The final budget for Mission Impossible Fallout was an estimated $180 million, with about $140 million allocated for promotion and distribution. But because of the delays, that budget skyrocketed to $250 to $260 million. However, all of that extra was covered by insurance.
Oh.
So it did cost $260 million. And that's because during the delay, they retained cast and crew and paid them the whole time. So everybody got like 2 months paid time off.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
I wonder about stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
are you just like out of a job for 2 months?
Which
They keep
honestly
paying you.
happens again. The production of part 7 and 8 is like the course of 4 years because it's the pandemic and 2 strikes,
Yeah.
and they
Oh, that's
pay
great.
everybody the whole time.
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
So you'll see articles about how like Mission Impossible 7 is a $400 million movie. It's not. It's just that
Oh.
they paid
They paid everybody.
constantly for
Yeah.
a
That's
year of
Interesting.
production.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Kinda cool.
The score was by Lorne Balfe. Lorne Balfe's writing office was adjacent to the editing room, allowing him and McQuarrie to collaborate and experiment with the rapid changes in the score in real time. So McQuarrie only used Balfe's score when reviewing and editing scenes instead of using temp score. So a lot of times when they edit, they'll put in like a temp score that already
Yeah.
exists. He was using like legit shit as they were going. The score itself is 90 minutes long. So there's 90 minutes of this 2.5-hour movie that's uninterrupted by original music. It was recorded for 30 days and large London stages using 300 musicians, 100 string players, 80 choristers, 42 brass players, 14 drums, 12 bongos, a couple of bengals, some Bengal tigers, and a few woodwind players.
And the band, the Bangles
and the Bengals.
from the 80s.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. The last movie, I was locked in on the score, listening hard. Like I
Yeah.
was real into it. I didn't even notice the score of this movie. What did you guys think of the score?
This one,
It didn't really jump out at me.
it
Yeah.
blends in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
blend,
right.
It was. Yeah.
There are 2 really good music cues.
Yeah.
The Halo jump
Yeah.
and
I lied. There are 2 times I heard the score, and that's when 2 amazing scenes. I don't know if they've done it previously in any of the MIs, but there's a sequence where they're showing Tom Cruise thinking about what has to happen as they're telling him the plan.
Yes.
And there's you don't hear the trucks. You don't hear any on-set sound. You don't hear any talking. You just hear a score. That's lovely. They repeat that again later where they cut out all of the ADR, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. In lieu of a score, which those two scenes I thought were really cool.
That is a device they only used in the first movie.
Did they do it in the first one?
Yeah, where he's going through all of the things with Phelps in his head. You actually just see it in real time. You remember that?
Yes, I
I
do.
remember that we
Like-
see
I
it,
do
but
it.
was there actual
Well, it's
sound?
not the device of showing him thought process and the movie. You're not sure in the movie if you're
If
seeing a
it's
real flashback.
real
or
time,
No, I
or
love
if
that.
it's yeah.
I just mean
But-
score wise.
No, that was all
Yeah.
voiceover. But
This
yeah.
was nice here.
It did make its release date because of all that refilming and rejiggering during his healing. And it came out July 27th, 2018. Box office was, during its opening weekend, the film grossed $61.2 million in 4,836 theaters, averaging 13,000, blah, 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 whatever.
About what
It
Sinners
was number
made.
one.
About what Sinners made, right?
61 million?
This
no.
past.
Globally, it made 60 million. It made 45 million this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Fallout remained in the top 10 for a total of 8 weeks. It was in the top 10 for 2 months, grossing domestically 220.2 million. Internationally, it grossed 571
Oh, wow.
million, making a worldwide total of $791.7 million.
Okay.
It is the highest grossing Mission Impossible movie
Huh.
To this day, still.
to this day. Still.
Wow.
Damn.
Um,
You seem disappointed.
yeah, he likes 5 better.
I do.
Yeah.
Huh.
I was not as enamored with this entry as I was the last
So let's talk about critical review.
one. Okay.
Before you get into those, Rotten Tomato score, 98%.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Audience
Out
score,
of what again? 98 out of what?
120.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the new
Yeah,
metric.
the highest tomato.
What's
One
the
tw-
highest percentage?
120 is actually a whole tomato. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right,
98.
right.
Audience, popcorn meter, whatever the fuck they call it, is 88%.
Oh.
Metacritic is 87 out of 100, and Cinema Score is A.
Huh.
These are all better
Wow.
scores than. This is the highest. Yeah, it's
Reviewed?
the highest reviewed Mission Impossible.
Interesting. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this.
Critical responses. What are some quotes?
Andrew Whalen from Newsweek, 4.5 out of 5. Mission Impossible Fallout is packed with amazing action sequences and an effectively twisty-turny plot, taking the franchise to new heights.
Richard Roper of Chicago Sun-Times, 3.4.
Sorry, it's 5.
It's a 5. I thought it was him being funny. 3.5 out of 4. This is one of the most entertaining movies of the summer and the best of the franchise.
Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle. The thought crosses the mind. Where can it go from here?
Oh.
The answer is pretty much everywhere. It
Oh.
keeps on going and going, following one exciting sequence with another and then another.
I couldn't tell if that was going to be positive or negative.
Yeah.
Where can it go?
I still
Who
don't know.
cares? Anywhere.
I still
it was
don't
hard
know.
to find negative reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Allison Wilmore from BuzzFeed says Fallout is thrilling in a way that it is out of sync with blockbuster fashions. It doesn't try for any sort of political resonance, and while it's more direct sequel than past installments, there's still nothing you really need to know in advance.
Katie Walsh of Tribune News Service, 3 out of 4. This is the kind of action filmmaking that proves to be an effective antidote for superhero fatigue with a sense of realism baked into every shot.
Anne Hornady, Washington Post, 3 out of 4 stars. Even if it's the most irritating parts don't fatally damage a whole that works amazingly well despite its own excesses. That
And-
was the most negative review I could find from top critics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. And Richard Brody from The New Yorker says the problem with constructing a movie as one long making of sequence is that if it's a movie as inert as this one, it doesn't so much answer the question, how was it made, as pose another one altogether. Why? That's pretty
I
negative.
presume Richard Brody doesn't like heist movies in general
Oh.
because they're movies about making something happen or
Yeah.
making the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So JD, is this the first time you've seen this movie?
No, I saw it previously. I don't remember when. And really all I remembered about it was the Henry Cavill improvised arm gun
That was great.
reload moment in the
His shirt
bathroom
was
fight.
tight.
Yeah, Titus.
Which is, I love it. I love it so much. Anytime the GIF happens on my computer, I'm like, that's great. I love watching that. So yeah, all I really remembered about this movie was that bathroom fight. I didn't remember any of the spoilers. So going into this, I was not exactly blind, but I was like, oh, right. Yeah, I don't remember most of this. So I remember he was running a lot. Cool. Oh, right. There was a helicopter, the thing that went on too long. Other than that, I guess I saw it before to answer the question. Should I continue?
What did you think now?
Oh, it was good. It's coming off the highs of, what was the last one?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. Coming off the highs of Rogue Nation. I was really excited for this. And what I appreciated about this one is that it is, like he said, episodic in that it's
this is
the next episode of the last one. It's not a whole new thing. We get a recurring villain showing up. And I remember
Whisper Lane.
What's that?
Whisper Solomon Lane.
Solomon Lane, yeah.
But he whispers.
Whisper Lane.
Yeah.
Whisper down the lane. I looked up the actor because I was like, is that the same dude? Did they recast that?
That beard does a lot of work.
That scraggly ass beard.
And it was CGI. No,
And that was a wig.
Yeah. I like that he returned. And I thought some of the action sequences were really fun. But I just didn't have any of the highs of the last one.
Really?
Like I wasn't laughing as much as the last one. This one is, I would say, slightly below.
Alice?
This was my first time seeing it, as with all of the Mission Impossible movies. Do I have to say that every time?
We're going to pretend every single time. Like, is this the first time you've seen this movie?
Every single time. Yes, it's the first time I saw this. I really, really loved this one.
Nice.
And I don't know if it's just because I love the stunts, as I've talked about, and so there were a lot of really cool stunts, like a lot of cool shots. I've seen the jumping out the helicopter or the plane into Paris, the helicopter scene, learning that he taught himself how to, not taught himself, but got lessons to him. He just got a helicopter and figured it out.
He built a helicopter from scratch. Seeing this in IMAX was absolutely intense because there are shots of him in the cockpit. Whole body, like you can see his feet and his head and out what he's seeing out the window actually maneuvering the helicopter.
That's
and I'm
wild.
like,
now I want to see
you
that.
Can't make this shit up. This is awesome. Yeah.
This was the one that made me say to Costa, like, I think I'm obsessed with Mission Impossible now, because now I'm like, I was like, okay, this was a movie. This was a great action movie. Like I'm obsessed with this now. Like I'm in the franchise.
I'm more in line with her. This is
awesome.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. Yeah. This is
including the ones we haven't gotten to.
Well, I haven't seen
or just
one of
so
them.
far.
So far, I do think this is better than the next one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. This is like it's structurally a perfect movie.
Go on.
It's structurally that was the end of sentence. It's structurally a perfect movie. Like, it's incredibly economical at the same time. It breathes. It's very, very thrilling, but doesn't feel rushed. It's emotionally resonant, or like the emotion works. Yeah. But it's not ham-fisted. Yeah. Like it is just such a measured
which it could have been, right? With that page and a half of dialogue that he was supposed to have, and it was just like, you should have come with me.
It's perfect. It is artists not being precious, and it's just fucking works.
Yeah.
And I like it is there's something about this franchise and how it's escalated over time. It has invited and brought out the most professional filmmakers in so much as like nobody's saying you can't do that. Everyone's just trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like it's
kind of like in like the characters in the film
a little bit,
right?
Yeah.
There is no, we can't do that.
No,
it's
like
just,
the Mission Impossible has become how they keep
making
these movies in new ways.
Yeah.
And I think this is the nadir. This is the peak. This is kind of where they find that groove of, yeah, we're going to fucking do this.
Yeah.
Also, too, I love Henry Cavill in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aside from, so he is the polar opposite of,
Ethan?
No, MI3 of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
No, in a very, very good way. Philip Seymour Hoffman was, he was able to get to the guts of Ethan. This guy is just physically imposing, and like he is the same level of threat, but in the completely different way.
Yeah.
And up until now, there has not been that in these movies.
Mhm.
There has not been something that like you couldn't think like I don't know if Ethan can get past this dude.
Right.
Just this dude.
Yeah.
He's just so large.
Yeah.
He's so
It's-
large and threatening.
And like also like were
And
you
good at what he
surprised
does,
by
too.
that reveal that he is Lark?
No.
I
You?
wasn't surprised by it, but I still enjoyed it as part of the story. Because
Did you watch the trailers at all?
No.
The trailers have scenes in there of them fighting each other and all kinds of crazy stuff, but they set it up narratively as him being a foil the whole
Yeah.
time. Like so going into the movie, I'm like, is he the bad guy or is it just like superhero misunderstanding bullshit?
yeah.
So when they do reveal that he's genuinely the bad guy, it was like, I don't know how I feel about that,
Yeah.
but I would love to see them fight.
Yeah.
I do-
But fight.
But I'm
I
okay
do
with it.
I love that he is a secondary bad guy. He's
Right.
not the bad
the
guy.
main one.
He's
yeah.
not Solomon Lane,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Like he's a guy who's working for a guy.
Yeah,
And
he's-
I like that
And the whole idea of like,
because I
also-
don't buy him as a mastermind.
No. He's just a blunt instrument.
Yeah.
They literally
Yes.
describe him
Yes.
as that.
He's like, what do they call him? A hammer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the idea of like the fallout of them,
Uh-huh.
that was
Fallout.
intentional, of them destroying the syndicate,
Mhm.
were these evangelists that called themselves the apostles. So they're just like terrorists without a home. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that is so juicy.
Mhm.
Like everything about this movie, even Alec Baldwin's 2 scenes. I'm like, this is
That bummed
cool.
me out.
I bummed me
I
out
was sad to see him
too.
go.
Yeah. It had a good emotional weight to it. I
Yeah.
just,
It was too
I
soon.
loved,
That was filmed a couple different ways.
Yeah.
And they didn't decide until post production that they were gonna kill him.
Ugh.
yeah.
And he recorded the last line over his cell phone.
Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he recorded ADR over his cell
Yeah.
phone
Nice.
like
Wow.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks before.
And
Yeah.
it hit harder because after losing the plutonium,
Yeah.
he goes to like apologize to Hunley, being like, sorry, and he's like, don't apologize. Like, I picked to work for IMF because of you, because you
Yeah.
value the life of one just as much as you value
Yeah.
the lives of millions,
Mhm.
which is why I know you're gonna cover my ass if you need it. And then like he's there like trying to figure out how to save him, and he's just like, just go. Like, I
Yeah.
can't, just go.
I-
Like,
It is
like, "Ah."
scenes like that, and the one we talked about earlier with "You Should Have Come with Me" that I love about this movie.
Mhm.
I think that the helicopter scene drags. It's just
I
it just
it.
keeps going.
It felt like Star Wars almost, especially with the pew
Yeah.
pew pew. pew,
Again.
pew
Oh,
out
yeah,
of
you
it.
can see
I
the
was like-
lasers, yeah.
Speaking to the structure of it though, like
Yeah.
it is set up like Star Wars because
Yeah.
every single Star Wars climax usually has 2 to 3 teams
Yeah.
and they're concurrently doing
Mhm.
something.
Yes.
So he needs to get on the helicopter to get into the other helicopter to defuse the detonator
Mm.
while he's hoping that they are diffusing 2 other bombs that,
Yeah.
like and they're not in contact with
they
each
can't
other.
be in contact.
That is 100% Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like in the sky in Andor at
Mm.
the same time as fighting Darth
Yeah.
Vader.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
that
also
shit's
found
amazing.
the beginning I found was like, oh, okay, clearly this is a setup, this is a set stage sort of thing. So that was kind of a bummer for me. And then as much as I love the little rule that he gave himself not to put women into danger unless they can get themselves out of it, I felt like Michelle Monaghan helping to defuse the bomb, helping Luther.
Big brains.
I was like, I don't know, okay. It just felt a little bit too like Spider-Man 2, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, that sort of thing. It just felt a little too cute by half of like, he doesn't need you doing this.
He did say he needed extra hands.
He needed
Yeah.
because you can't turn they set it up like he can't turn
Yeah.
the screw
Yeah.
and hold the thing at the same time.
He's like,
She
I need
doesn't
more
have to be-
hands.
She doesn't have to be a rocket scientist. She literally just
Oh,
has
no,
to use
doctor.
a
I
screwdriver.
I
Yeah.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand. It just felt a little bit too like, what do
But
we
it-
do with her? We got to have her do something.
Well,
Well, she could, let's turn the screw.
It gave her cool agency in the moment though too because
Yeah.
she's not stupid. Like
Mhm.
you're here.
Yeah.
What's actually
Yeah,
happening?
we're
Mhm.
and
doomed.
how
We're
can- yeah.
probably, we're all going to
Yeah.
die, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I
Guys are
can
here?
help us not die.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Oh,
do
the
that.
moment when she's like, "There's 2 bombs." Like, did you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say
that was
another
funny.
bomb?
Yeah.
And then the moment when he looks at her, he's like, "Just go be with your husband."
Mhm.
And I was like,
Oh, it's nice to see him.
Yeah. Wes Bentley.
Wes Bentley.
Wes Bentley, yeah.
When he's not looking at trash bags flying in the wind, he's
Yeah.
Or in American
little
Horror
roles
Story.
in-
Or in
or
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
That's
one
right.
of the Hunger Games movies.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's Seneca Crane.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
Nice.
got the weird mustache.
Harm Moon's in the chat saying, I agree. This
Philip Seymour
was the
Hoffman is
best.
also.
I remember just as the movie ended, my mother leaned over and said, this is better than James Bond. She is 87 and loves James Bond. Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
That's one of your fondest memories. I love that.
I'm glad that you guys love the movie.
I was sucked in the whole time. I was
That's awesome.
gasping at parts just in my living room. I was just like,
One thing I wanted to ask you guys, when I'm watching a thing, even though I am not there having anything happen to me at all, I am sitting very comfortably on my couch. I'll go,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will physically react to someone in danger. Like,
what did you do that to in this movie?
God, I can't remember.
I remember when I did it too.
Half of that
The
fight.
hook in the face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The whole helicopter and a hook dragging Henry Cavill down. Yeah, that
There
got
was
me.
a couple times in the helicopter sequence where, because they do that thing where he's like on one helicopter and you see him coming in the other one and he's just trying to ram him. There was a couple times where I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, when he hits the car.
Oh,
When he's on
yeah,
the
and he
motorcycle
flies off
and
the
he just-
motorcycle.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
half of the bathroom fight just looks painful to even fake.
Mhm.
Like that was
Yeah.
all like a lot of like wincing because
The
Lark hitting him with
suitcase
the
in
hitting
That
him with
was
the
pretty
suitcase in the
funny.
face was so visceral,
Yeah.
like
Where's
painfully
the syringe?
so.
Didn't need it.
And I love that that's got a consequence.
Oh yeah,
Like it's a funny, cool moment, but then you ruined our whole plan here with
and
it.
Yeah.
they fix it, but then she shoots him in the face.
We need a
and he
face.
has
I need
no
a
face.
face.
I need a face to make a mask.
It was an absolutely wonderful movie to me.
Also, even though I kind of clocked it coming, I do love the situation where he's talking to Lane.
Mhm.
He's bound up, and I'm like, I bet that's Benji.
Oh,
I
But when
loved that.
But you like watching it dawn on him. You are just, it's Halloween, and you're just a
You're
bunch of
wearing
people,
a
kids
mask.
in masks.
yeah.
I love the realization on his
Yeah.
face.
I want more Cavill as a foil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very good at this.
Yeah.
I buy him more as this than altruistic hero. I'm
Mhm.
assuming he's like that in The Witcher. I just couldn't get past 2 episodes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know. I need
Did
to
you-
watch The Witcher. I
did you-
haven't watched it.
I watched 2 episodes and I was like, this is a show.
I don't think he's a particularly great actor, but I do find him watchable. Like I enjoy when he's around, but I'm not like, man, he really got to the core of that scene right there. I'm a single tear falls. Like I've just, like he's good.
Let's do ratings. So do you need to be reminded of your ratings, Alex?
Yes, I do.
All right. You know what? I can put them on the screen for you guys.
Oh, that'd be even better.
That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, you know what? Is that
Was there anything you guys didn't like?
it
Am I
wasn't,
the only one who had
wasn't
some
long enough? No, it's kidding.
I want to talk about
Yeah.
the length of the movie. So I knew it was a long movie. It didn't feel long to me, but I had to watch another movie for Inside the Morgue right after that, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's super short. It'll feel like nothing after watching a 2.5 minute." This movie was so bad. Comparatively, also after watching this, I was like, "This movie's dragging." It was only an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was bad.
That's
it was
impressive.
a bad one.
Yeah.
Good morgue scenes though, so
yeah,
tune in to hear us talk about that.
I think
But-
they broke the seal with this one too, making it like 2 hours and 25 minutes. I think the next one's even longer.
I think I read today that 8 is going to be the longest.
Cool.
it doesn't.
It's going to be like
doesn't-
almost 3
Have
hours.
you
Mission
seen the new
Impossible
trailer?
do not need
No,
to
I
be
The
over
eighth
haven't.
one.
2 hours.
There's like shit with aircraft carriers and crazy shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm not going to bother watching any trailers.
Don't.
Yeah,
But
I know.
they're
I
great.
kind of want to just go in blind.
In fact,
Um,
what was I was at the movie last night and I went, oh, there was a Final Destination trailer on when we
Ooh.
went to go see
Yeah.
it. And I just went, I closed my eyes and I looked away and I'm like, I'm not watching. I'm not
La, la,
watching.
la, la, la.
La, la, la,
You're
la.
talking
It's a
about disruption
solid-
during movies.
Yeah.
You're just there like, la, la, la.
Like, sir, the movie's been on for 20 minutes.
Like a test
I
pattern.
don't want spoilers. Just
White
noise.
screaming.
I genuinely wish we could watch all these movies together. It's just timing's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because the next these are great. Anyway, Alice, we'll start with you. Or JD, do you want to start?
I don't care. Yes.
Okay,
me,
so
me go.
am I Mission Impossible?
Yes.
3.25.
Uh-huh.
Out of 5.
Uh-huh.
By the way,
Oh, thank you. Not 100.
no.
100%.
MI2, 2.25.
Okay.
MI3, 4.5. Ghost Protocol, 3. Rogue Nation, 4.25. So where would you put this one?
4.25 was the last one. And before that was 3. 3.75. Out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of
3.75.
100.
Alice.
4.5. I'm looking at my numbers on the screen. The highest one I had.
Let's recap. Mission Impossible 1, 3.5. Mission Impossible 2, 2. 2 whole stars. 2 whole fuses.
2 whole fuses.
Mission Impossible 3, 4. Ghost Protocol 3.85 and Rogue Nation 4. And you're going 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
This one was my favorite.
More than MI3 and Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
This my previous scores 3.5 for the first one. Mission Impossible 2, 2.84. Mission Impossible 3, 4.25. Ghost Protocol 4. Rogue Nation 4.36. And I'm gonna give this 4.62.
Whoa!
Oh,
This is the best. This is the best one.
Why not 5? If this is the best,
I mean, I haven't seen the last one.
you just want you're saving room. Save
that's
it for
what I was
dessert.
doing too. I almost
Also,
gave it a 5,
the
but I'm like, I
idea
want to
of a
save
perfect
room.
movie just seems a little odd.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we'll see. After this, after all of them, let's go back and we'll rank. We'll rank because rankings don't necessarily have to be the fuse grade you give it, but I'm gonna do a quick average. If you could show me this. This is okay. So we've got estimated full budgets for all 6 movies so far. $830
million.
Gross being
$3 billion.
$3.6 billion.
Egad.
So if you just get rid of just the budgets, that's still a $2.7 billion profit. Even if you doubled that because of advertising, that's still a $1.7 billion profit.
Wow.
That's fucking insane. Any final thoughts on these movies, my friends?
I still love them. Like, as much as this was a bit of a downturn for me from the last one, I'm still actively excited to watch the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of these, well, except for maybe MI2. I would probably watch. I would watch MI2. I would watch MI2.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I actively enjoy all of these movies to one extent or another. So far, there's none that I would be like, oh, I never want to watch that again.
This is an average score between the 3 of us of a 4.29.
So
it's
average, it's the highest.
It is, yeah. Awesome. The next one, Mission Impossible 7.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
It was advertised as Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah.
But they dropped the Part 1.
Keep us in suspense.
Mission Impossible 8, instead of being Dead Reckoning Part 2, is Final Reckoning.
Okay.
Do we think it's actually the final?
Tom Cruise has said as much that this is his last one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
like
that the franchises will go on in some form, but I think this is the end of Ethan Hunt. Man's like 85.
I can't picture. Like, I just can't.
He's
picture
a Scientologist 85, so he looks 60.
And I just think he made a deal with some kind of entity where he can't die, and he just keeps making these movies just for shits and giggles.
I mean, he's a showman, so like even if they continued the franchise without him, well, he'll show up.
Would you want to watch this franchise without Tom Cruise?
Sure.
Like if they had the rest of IMF.
I personally think it should be treated not unlike James Bond in so much as
a new Ethan?
Just a new everything.
Oh, I see.
Just like every time a new actor comes in, it could either be a complete reboot or a soft relaunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or a requel of sorts, or just like, hey, that stuff happened, but don't worry about it over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure with the amount of the money that you just said all of these have made, I'm not entirely sure they won't ever stop. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I think
like if he's not around, they're just going to keep making them.
I don't think it needs to be any of these cast members. If they want to just do something else, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's really that precious. If you want to do something crazy, go for it. We're going to get a nice ending, hopefully.
For Ethan.
I want them all to die.
Oh my God.
I was thinking that. I was like, I feel like just Ethan as a character is also very Tom Cruise. He's never going to stop. Like, how are they going to give him an
Do we want to watch him die on screen?
I do.
You do?
Yes, I personally do. I want his character arc over the last 7 movies has been the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many in the moment, and then we fix it later.
Yeah.
It would just be such a great bookend for the character to the ultimate put himself in front of everything else.
Yeah.
And not because I'm saving the world, probably just because like
I'm saving
Benji.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like I really do think that that's a perfect ending for him.
Oh, I hope it's for saving Benji. I liked watching their relationship grow in the last episode.
If any of them survive, it should just be Benji. Kill everyone else. It's fine.
And Elsa. I like
and
Elsa.
he could be the Q forever or something.
Nice.
I loved the part when he's on the motorcycle and the motorcycle wasn't starting, so he got made and he calls Benji, and Benji was like driving away on a boat with Lane in the car, and he's like without hesitation, he's like, all right, on it.
Yeah, he turns around.
Pulls around.
Yeah. Well,
he's like, all right, see you soon.
One of my other favorite scenes in this movie that I totally didn't even bring up was, they've got Lane with a sack over his head. They're all getting into a car, and then they open up the door, and there's just a French police officer. A French female police officer, and then he kills all of the other mercenaries in order to save her.
Mm-hmm.
And then apologizes.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That's like that's Ethan Hunt,
was
originally was a male officer, and they recast it
because in his
like a day before
vision, it was a male officer.
Yeah, like a day before they recast it because Tom Cruise felt that it would be more emotionally resonant if it was a female. Feel how you want about that, but I guess it did work.
It worked.
And they also, a couple months later, shot inserts of Henry Cavill. Like there's a shot from behind him of him reaching for his gun.
Yes.
And in context, it's like he needs to decide in the moment if he's going to blow his cover because they're about to get caught with Lane.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. Like that's how the Lark character kept changing during filming where like, honestly, I don't even know if they knew it was going to be Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Like it just kind of kept escalating to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
So Pink Apocalypse is in the chat. I haven't seen a single MI yet. Do it. But the idea of doing one without Cruise sounds incredibly why. I agree, but money's usually the answer.
Yeah.
Continue the series with Ethan Hunt Jr., perhaps. Thanks, Dane.
Yeah.
And then Pink jumped back in. Be careful what you wish for with the character death. I'm still sore over Kirk's terrible death, and it's been a few decades. Look, just because they did it poorly doesn't mean that in Generations.
Oh.
A weird dummy hanging onto a bridge fell down a
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Oh.
It looks really bad. Just because it happened doesn't mean it can't happen well.
Yeah.
But like if it's a underwater saving the world from a nuclear apocalypse or something, and
he can't drown again.
Yeah,
he already drowned.
Well, it's also too, how can we keep escalating these? He has learned. He Halo jumped. Learned how to fly a helicopter.
Yep.
Hung on the side of a plane.
Rock climbed really dangerously.
Free climbed in Arizona
multiple times. But he did it in this movie.
He did it in this one too. I said that too. I think Costa walked into that part. I was like, he does that. He's doing that.
That was
for
the only
real.
part of the movie
I
that
like how you're bragging about Tom Cruise to your fiance.
That's why I'm like, I don't know if I'd still see these movies if Tom Cruise isn't in it, because part of what draws me to it is being able to be like,
he did that.
You don't think that they would? So like, if anybody's going to like take over the franchise, be the face of the franchise, I feel like that would have to be baked in. Like how
you're gonna have to almost die.
Yeah, how dedicated to like, because I don't think that they would stop making them as realistic as they have been. Because that's more the franchise than Tom Cruise's. Yeah. The idea that they go out of their way to show you just how practical these movies are. Because even in the next one, every time you went to the movies, there was a 5-minute making of sequence of him jumping a motorcycle off of a cliff.
I still haven't seen this movie.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen. I
was about to say neither have I.
And while you're watching the making of, it's just like, yeah, I guess that's cool. What story purpose would he have to go off of a ramp, off of a cliff? And they just kind of make it work digitally. And if I didn't see those making ofs, I wouldn't know that he actually does that jump, that Halo jump, or he actually does go off that cliff because they like clean it up. Yeah. But I think that's part of it. Like the whole intensity is part of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be another character. It's just kind of like, I know that Tom Cruise is that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else is that crazy.
I guarantee you there's somebody out there who's that crazy.
Maybe Glenn Powell is that crazy. I don't know.
Maybe I'm that crazy.
Maybe Michael B. Jordan.
Me.
Maybe Michael B. Jordan's that goddamn crazy.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Pretty crazy.
So someone had pointed out, I think it was the film cast who had pointed out that the Oscars have finally, they're going to be including stunt work.
Oh
my. Like Oscars for stunt work. And it's going to be the year after he's done making these movies.
That's a sin. That is atrocious.
Isn't that funny?
Maybe they'll give him like a 5 or 10 years from now when he's riddled with arthritis.
Yeah.
From all of the broken everything. Maybe they'll give him an honorary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
Mission
Did we do
Impossible Fallout. My favorite of the series.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't like it as much as you guys.
I'm sorry
I feel
you
bad.
peaked a movie ago.
I did. You know what though? It's impressive that Rogue Nation was better than, or at least as good as MI3, because MI3 was peak to me.
These movies are not like there's one stinker that still has redeeming qualities.
So far, my pattern seems to be the odds are my favorites. So M1, M3, and then Rogue Nation are my peaks. Right? Anyway, whatever.
The delta between 3 and 4 for me is pretty minuscule, just 0.25.
Yeah.
So it's just been an upswing the whole time. Yeah.
Cool.
But anyway,
All right, guys.
Thank you, Pink. Please watch these movies. You have 6 of them to watch this month. Because when I get back at the end of the month, we're going to do 7 and 8.
You missed Pink. I don't know if you listened. We read Pink's email last week. You should definitely listen to.
Oh my
Pink's
God,
email.
yes.
Yeah.
About movie going experiences.
It's awesome. It was intense.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Good email, Pink. Thank you so much.
Will it piss me off?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sort of.
No,
Well, that's
it'll
kinda
be
funny.
it escalates in a way that I did not expect it to.
Yeah.
It got
So,
crazy.
anyway, let's get the hell out of here.
Oh.
Say goodbye, Noel.
What?
Bye, Noel.
Hey, thank you very much, everybody. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Join us next week where JD and I will figure out what we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, I'm not here. Sorry.
It's jerk. Show up anyway. We know that you guys are here for Alice. Just show up anyway, please. Because
I'll
Dylan,
try to pop up in the chat.
Dylan will
if
be
I can.
sad. Anything you would like to plug? Tell them to shop.
Yeah, come to JD's Hero Complex and buy some comics.
Be sure to
free comic book day is coming the first Saturday of May.
May
So we're
3rd.
going to be having some signings there, including Ben Harvey, who is a cover artist for Marvel Comics right now.
Maybe that's what we'll do next week. We'll bring a bunch of the free comic book day issues in and talk to people about
We
that.
do that too.
Yeah.
All right.
Where can people find you?
Inside the Morgue at Inside the Morgue Pod. Also at Forensic Alice, and yeah, those are my. socials.
I'll be here. I'll see you guys next week. And do not forget, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about Young Junk and the space, be sure to email Dylan at
Dylan@youngjunk.com.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we will talk at you in your dreams.
Send us a succulent Chinese meal.
Send us emails about your favorite scents. They don't necessarily have to be tied into IP, like Nosferatu. But if they are,
Could
that's
be
a plus.
pennies.
Yeah.
Maybe
what if
like-
we
maybe
do
like
wear the
pennies.
Nosferatu perfume at my wedding?
I think
Just
that'd be
make it-
dope. It smells great.
Make it creepier.
Yeah.
I've been trying to add
but
like,
like,
I've been trying to add like
for
little
you.
sprinkles of like creepy things in
It's
my wedding,
creepy,
but it's not
but-
like super subtle. Like
If you did that, would it be just kind of like an inside joke with a small circle, or
Probably.
everybody that says you smell nice would be like, it's Nosferatu?
which one do you think it is? Which one do you think? Obviously the second. I'm gonna have no chill.
Do you smell the lilac? It's a grave.
Doesn't it smell like a tombstone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after rain.
Sniff me.
After rain.
Yeah.
Go watch Mission Impossible.
Bye.
Doo-doo-doo.
Doo-doo-doo.
Young John!